What a great film that is. And with me right now is the man who selected it for us to see, the very talented writer and director, and for tonight, our TCM guest programmer, Richard Linklater. Now, that is such a great movie. John Huston, is he a particular favorite of yours?
Yeah, I think he's a hero to all directors. He had one of the great careers, almost 50 years. He had a great beginning, a great end, and so many great films in between. He covered a lot of ground, but he had a tone, you know, this kind of character-based, certain bit of futility in there, you know, but never bitter.
I'm always amazed at his versatility, too, the different subjects he took. A few misfires along the way. Annie, he shouldn't have directed that in the first place. But
he admits that if you read his autobiographies. There's a few he felt he maybe shouldn't have done.
But all quality stuff.
I don't always agree. Even the ones he goes, I probably shouldn't have done it. He was talking about The Unforgiven, which is kind of the flip side of The Searchers. You know, it's the same writer. And I love The Unforgiven. And he's like, I shouldn't have done it. I said, no, you should have done it. You're the only guy who could come close to pulling it off, and you do a pretty good job. Yeah, so.
When did you first get fascinated by films?
I came to it more as an adult. You know, I grew up in I mean, I love movies just like everybody, but I never thought I could make a movie until I was about, 20, 21.
Why then did you think you could make a movie?
I just started learning a little. I saw some movies, some indie movies that I thought, oh, maybe you can just get a camera and do that. You know, where you see these big, beautiful movies, you didn't think you could do that. Now, people are very aware of what goes on behind the camera. But when I was a kid, growing up in the 60s and 70s, you just went to movies and enjoyed them. You know, you didn't think people even made them. You know, you didn't think about it. Now, everybody knows everything.
And how did you pull your first film together?
I'd made a lot of shorts and a low-budget feature, and then I got some friends together and a little bit of money and made a 16mm feature that got distribution and was kind of an indie hit of the early 90s, Slacker. And then I had a script, and I got studio funding for my next one, Dazed and Confused. So it was a different time back then. It was, you know, studios were really open to, you know, they made lower-budget films even, so.
What advice would you give to somebody today that said they wanted to be a director?
Well, it's a great time. I think technology is your friend. It's a good time to be a director. It's harder to get your film seen in a way, but I think you just got to do it. You just got to keep, you know, keep writing, keep making them. No excuses, you know, just sit down and do it.
Well, we're going to move on now. Another great director you've picked, film here. We have more movies to discuss with Richard, and up next is a critically acclaimed European film that he selected. It's from 1982. Directed by the great Ingmar Bergman.
Tonight on Turner Classic Movies, guest programmer Richard Linklater compares his own film boyhood to Fanny and Alexander. Then two young children are brought together by war and forbidden games, and Betty Davis gets mixed up with black market medicine in The Big Shakedown.
If you're a fan of classic films and love collecting them, TCM Shop is your one-stop destination to discover new movies and collect old favorites with thousands of DVDs and Blu-rays to choose from, plus books, soundtracks, and classic movie merchandise. September is your chance to purchase some of the greatest classic and contemporary movies of all time during our end-of-the-season sale featuring top Criterion titles at 50% off. Choose titles from the entire Criterion catalog, including All That Heaven Allows, starring Jane Wyman and Rock Hudson, Godzilla, Harold Lloyd's silent comedy classic The Freshman, Ray Milland in the ghostly thriller The Uninvited, Henry Fonda in 12 Angry Men.
This isn't a game.
Charles Laughton and Bela Lugosi in the chiller Island of Lost Souls, Robert Altman's homage to country music, Nashville, and many others. All titles feature new digital transfers and include extensive bonus features. So shop now and save up to 50% during our end-of-the-season sale featuring the Criterion Collection at shop.tcm.com or call 888-9-TCM-SHOP.